hit a 2-run single in his first at-bat and then launched a 468-foot moonshot in his second at-bat. The 106.7 mile per hour missile went deep into the left field seats and gave the Pittsburgh Pirates a 4-1 lead in the fourth inning. Gonzalez came through again in the seventh inning when he laced a double to right field. This hit came with bases loaded and drove in 2 more runs. He also singled in the 10th inning to put runners on the corners with no one out. Gonzalez has always been a plus defender who has hit the ball hard. Now, those hard hit balls are turning into base hits. He is now hitting for a .357 average, .357 on base, and a .571 slugging this season. A breakout season by Gonzalez may be unfolding before our eyes. The star of the early part of the game for the Pittsburgh Pirates was Chad Kuhl. In 4 innings pitched, the lone hit Kuhl allows a solo home run. He did not walk a batter, and he struck out 7. Throughout his start, Kuhl made Tiger batters look bad. He kept them off balance and was flashing his power fastball and wipeout slider. On the season, Kuhl has now allowed just 2 earned runs on 6 hits, 3 walks, 2 home runs and 12 strikeouts, and 9 innings pitched. For the second consecutive game with the piggybacking starters, Pirate manager Derek Shelton pulled his starter too soon. Last Sunday in Chicago, he pulled Stephen Brault after he had pitched 3 perfect innings on just 36 pitches. As we have discussed, Kuhl was dominating on Friday night and had thrown just 56 pitches, yet Shelton pulled him after 4 innings. Brault took the mound in the 5th inning with the Pittsburgh Pirates leading 4-1, and things quickly went south. Brault faced 6 batters, allowing a double, 2 singles, and he issued 3 runs. This included 2 bases-loaded walks. Without retiring a batter, Brault was pulled. This brought Brault's disastrous night to an end and ruined the great work Kuhl had done. While yes, the Pirates entered the night with a plan to piggyback Kuhl and Brault, pulling Kuhl when he did was a terrible decision by Shelton. This decision looked even worse after Brault imploded. Kuhl was dominating the Detroit lineup and had only 56 pitches. Piggyback plans or not, pulling him after 4 innings was foolish. Kuhl should have been permitted to at least start the 5th inning and potentially even another inning if he continued to roll. Shelton should have waited until Kuhl showed any signs of fatigue to go to Brault. While it might be difficult to criticize Shelton's bullpen decisions too much due to the amount of injuries in the pen right now, he still made a blunder on Friday night. Yaxel Rios pitched the 6th inning and allowed a run. Then in the 7th, he took the mound again. After allowing a double to start the inning and hitting Miguel Cabrera with a pitch, Rios should have been pulled. Instead, he was left in, and it ended poorly. After Rios issued a walk to load the bases with no one out, he was pulled by acting manager Don Kelly, who took over after Shelton was tossed following an egregious missed strike call by home plate umpire Ramon de Jesus during the final at-bat of the night for Rios. At this point, it was too little, too late, as the inning would end with the Pirates trailing. All aboard the PEHT. What is PEHT? Well, Phillip Evans' hype train, of course. The incredible start to the season for the former minor league free agent signee continued on Friday night. In his first at-bat, Evans singled and later scored on Gonzalez's home run. Then in the 5th inning, with the Pirates now trailing 5-4, Evans launched a 3-run home run. His first MLB blast gave the Bucs a 7-5 lead. He collected his 3rd hit of the night in the 9th inning and drove in another run in the process. For the first time in his professional career, Evans is being given an extended look at the MLB level, and he's taking the opportunity and running with it. Evans appears to be emerging as a potential long-term option as a super utility man for the Pittsburgh Pirates. We have already discussed the struggles Rios had on Friday night. Before he took the mound, Jeff Hartlieb inherited a bases-loaded with no one out mess in the 5th inning. While Hartlieb did a great job of limiting the damage by only allowing one of the inherited runners to score, the problem is the run scored when Hartlieb walked in the run. After Rios loaded the bases with no one out in the 7th inning, Miguel Del Pozo took over on the mound. Del Pozo allowed all 3 runners Rios put on base to score, as well as allowing 3 runs of his own. Overall, 4 of 6 runners the Pirate bullpen inherited on Friday night would score. Nick Turley then allowed a run in the 10th, and Dovidas Neverauskas allowed 4 in the 11th. When the smoke mercifully settled, the Pirate bullpen had allowed 16 runs on 15 hits and 5 walks in 7 innings of work. In the 9th inning, the Pittsburgh Pirates looked dead. With 2 outs and no one on the base, the team was down to their last out while trailing 12-9. This is when things got fun. Brian Reynolds singled, Evans singled, and then Frazier stepped to the plate. Frazier launched a game-tying home run to center field. This tied the game at 12 and sent the game to extra innings. In the 10th inning, Gonzalez singled to start the inning, putting runners on the corners with no one out. Cole Tucker then hit a sacrifice fly to tie the game. While the 9th inning rally proved to be for naught, it was great to see the team continue to have a never-say-die attitude and fight back. The Pirates have now scored 16 runs in the 9th inning this season, which is the most in the MLB. Unfortunately, their late-inning heroics were not enough to keep up with their struggling bullpen. At 4:05 on Saturday afternoon today, the Pirates and the Detroit Tigers played the second game of their 3-game weekend set. Derek Holland made his 3rd Pirate start and gave up 9 runs in 5 innings. Opposing the Bucs was former Pirate Ivan Nova, who picked up the win, although giving up 5 runs in his 5 innings of work. The Pittsburgh Pirates are off to the worst start in the National League. How should they operate moving forward with one of their pitchers? To no one's surprise, the Pittsburgh Pirates are not playing competitive baseball. They were predicted to finish in the basement of the National League Central, and so far it appears that is where they will end up. The Bucs record sits at National League worst 3-12, which is good for a .200 winning percentage. Still, there are positives that can come from this season. Players like Colin Moran and even Jeff Hartley have shown progress from last season. Furthermore, the team is getting an opportunity to develop some of the young players on the roster, although hopefully they will add more young players by the end of the year. This could be very possible over the coming weeks. The Major League Baseball trade deadline will be on August 31st, just a few weeks away. Now, this deadline will not be like those in the past, as there will be a lot of factors that will figure into it. One of those factors is that the playoffs are expanded this year. This will certainly cut down the number of teams that will sell off during the season. With the Pittsburgh Pirates being far out of contention, they will be one of the only true sellers from now until the deadline. The first player that the team could and should trade is Derek Holland. Holland has been one of the Pittsburgh Pirates' few bright spots in the early going. He has made 3 starts for the Bucs and has given up a total of 15 runs. In his first start, he was charged with 2 earned runs through 5 2/3 innings. He followed that up with a very strong outing in Minnesota, where he was hit a little more, giving up 4 runs. All those runs came in the 6th inning, and obviously he should have been pulled. Overall, Holland has had some bad luck. In both his starts, he had runners score after he was listed from the game, and teams are not going to focus on 2 games. There are some positives to Holland this year. His strikeout rate is a career best at 22.7%, and he is holding opposing batters to a 158 batting average. Outside of a couple bad innings, Holland has been very effective. There are plenty of teams across the league that need pitching depth. Teams like the Atlanta Braves, Houston Astros, Chicago White Sox, and Minnesota Twins have all suffered losses to their rotations and bullpens. That is only to name a few, as there are plenty of teams that are in contention that will need to add pitching. Derek Holland fits a perfect profile for a lot of playoff teams. Holland has shown he can throw effective innings as a starter this year. He could go and fill in for a team and make some starts until their rotation gets healthy. Over the past few seasons, Holland has also spent time as a reliever. With an uptick in his velocity and strikeout rate, the veteran would make for a nice reliever as well. All in all, Derek Holland is not going to bring back a big-time package. He is a veteran pitcher who will likely be used as a swingman. Still, the Pittsburgh Pirates brought Holland in on a minor league contract, so anything they get for him will be positive. With the deadline just a few weeks away, Holland very likely will only make another appearance or 2 for the Pirates. I would look for him to be traded sooner rather than later, because the sooner you trade Derek Holland if you're Ben Cherington, the bigger the return you're going to get. It's not a typical trade deadline where you get 2 months of a guy. Rather than if you wait until that August 31st trade deadline, you're only going to get a couple starts, a couple appearances out of Derek Holland. And with the Pirates really being one of the true teams out of contention, and I preface that with the fact that they're only 4 games out of a playoff position. They're 9 games under 500. They're winning games at a 20% clip. They're the worst team in the National League. And honestly, trading off some guys and getting a potentially first overall pick in 2021, is that bad? Is it really that bad to think that the Pirates could have the number 1 overall pick in 2021, have some bright spots, trade off some guys, and see what they can do in Derek Shelton's first full season in 2021? Adding already to the 6th best farm system in baseball with the number 1 overall pick, it's likely expected to be Kumar Rocker at this point, who is really one of the best prospects we've seen in a long, long time. And you add that to the Pirates' pitching prospects situation. It's an interesting thing to discuss, and this week is going to tell a lot about where the Pirates go. Let's take a look at what the Pirates got coming down the pike this week before we get back to our next podcast. It'll be before the game next Saturday. But tomorrow, Stephen Brault goes against the Detroit Tigers. Spencer Turnbull. Stephen Brault was not scheduled to start on tomorrow. It was supposed to be Joe Musgrove, but Joe Musgrove was scratched with ankle soreness. Now, we do know Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday they are scheduled to play the Cardinals, but again, that's likely to be canceled. If they do face the Cardinals, Trevor Williams is expected to go against Ponce de Leon. For the Cardinals, Trevor Williams, 7 innings, 1 run in his last start out against the Twins. He did pick up the loss, but starting to look like the Trevor Williams of old again. On Tuesday, I would imagine that they go with JT Brubaker in that game if they do play. And then Wednesday, I would hope Chad Cole gets a full start. I'm not sure. I doubt they would have Stephen Brault piggyback considering he's starting tomorrow. But that would be Wednesday. Thursday, the Pirates head to Cincinnati to take on the Reds. Now, if the series does get canceled this week with the Cardinals, I would imagine they go with Trevor Williams on Thursday, and then Brubaker Friday, and then Saturday they would be able to do the cool Brault piggyback, given the fact that Brault would have plenty of rest between his start that he'll get tomorrow. So for the rest of the week for the Pirates, they've got a guaranteed game against the Tigers tomorrow. I doubt they get the 3 games with the Cardinals, but then they have a 4-game set with the Reds, 3. So all in all, they should get 4 games in this week. Obviously, what you're looking for in those 4 games is 4 wins. If they're able to somehow get 4 wins this week, that would put the team at 7-12 and theoretically right back into the race. Best case scenario, I guess what you're looking at is they're 4 games back of a playoff spot right now, get to a playoff spot, and that's the thing with where we stand. Now, I know I sound a little bit pessimistic in the final segment of the episode, but in these 4 games, if they can win all 4, they can be right back there in a playoff spot, and that has to be what's going to happen if they're going to have any chance in 2020. If they want to have a chance moving forward, they have to be 7-12 by the time I'm talking to you this time next week. Obviously, if they play the Cardinals, then all bets are off. If they can win that series, they would be 9-13 as well as 4 other wins. 9-13, they'd be right in it. But again, I do not believe that they're going to be playing the Cardinals, as we talked about to lead off the show today. That's just going to about do it for our show this evening. My name is Benson Fector. Thank you all for tuning in to another episode of Bucco-booth. A very rough week of Pirates baseball. Again, please keep Phillip Evans in your prayers after he suffered that what looked to be a very horrific scene at PNC Park, colliding with, in a violent fashion, with Gregory Polanco taking an elbow to the face. Looked like he was knocked out. But let me see if I have an update for you on that, on Phillip Evans. And it appears as if no further news on Phillip Evans. So again, I will let you all know any more information as I get it. That's going to do it. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you here this time next week. Let's get into a playoff position by this time next week, shall we? Let's go, Bucks, as always, and I will see you here again for another episode of Bucco Booth on Saturday at noon. Have a safe and healthy week, everybody.